Lila Mine and Emmanuel. Today's July 27th. I think I want to tell you a little bit about how me and Mom met. And maybe you heard it from her, but maybe our stories aren't exactly the same. Maybe they'll be a little different. Today was, real quick, I'll tell you about today. Today was a sad day because last night I had a dream that your mom cheated on me. And today it was just a hard day. I get plagued by my dreams. Sometimes I dream that she's young and beautiful and that we're together, or sometimes I dream I see you and you're running off and I could just see the back of you, or sometimes I'm hugging and kissing you, or sometimes I'm hugging and kissing Emmanuel. But I'm tortured by my dreams every day of my family and of my wife and things like that. But I do pray for you guys every day. My daily prayer is, Lord, I lift up my family to you for their protection, their provisions, Lord, their guidance to salvation, their guidance to truth, Lord. Lila, for the safekeeping of her virginity, for the protection of Lila and Emmanuel, Preston, and Caleb from homosexuals and sodomites, for the restoration of my family, for the restoration of my marriage, for the restoration of my relationships with my children, Lord. I pray for Caleb, Lord, as the head man in this family, Lord, in Florida, to be wise and to watch over him, Lord, lead him and guide him. I pray that Caleb and Preston will be best friends and business partners, Lord. And then I kind of go on to other things. But that's my prayer. And also in the morning, I wake up and I read proclamations. It takes me about 15 minutes. And I proclaim protection over my family. I have a laundry list of things I mentioned, like accidents and just kidnappings, just all kinds of things. I have a long list of things that I read. Then I bless my family. And that's pretty much it. But how me and your mom met was Labor Day weekend. I don't remember the year. It was probably a year before Caleb was born, or 2 years before Caleb was born, because we met on Labor Day weekend in August. And I think it would have been like August 31st. And we got married July 31st, which actually our anniversary is like 3 days from now, because today's the 27th. So it's 3 or 4 days from now. And that's also Uncle Aaron's birthday. So we met August, and by July 31st, 11 months later, we were married, pregnant with Caleb. And so a lot happened. From the time we met, we got married, and we were already pregnant with Caleb. And so what happened was, it was Labor Day weekend. I was like 28 years old. Your mom was 22, I believe, because I'm 6 years older than her. I was pretty successful. I mean, for 28, not super, but okay. I had a good job. I was a construction manager of a swimming pool company. Not construction manager, I was a superintendent. I had a company truck. I had just bought me a small little starter home. It was a tiny home. It was like 1,000 square feet, super small. I had a really nice car, and I had my first home, and I had a good, decent paying job, and I had a company truck and all kinds of things. And so I would party a lot because I was a young man. I was looking for a girl, and I wasn't a Christian at the time, so I should have been going to churches to find me a young bride, but I was dumb and stupid, and I didn't do it that way. So I was partying a lot, and I would go to Clearwater Beach every Labor Day, Memorial Weekend, and then sometimes 4th of July. And your mom, of course, lived in Clearwater. And so I had been for Memorial Day the year before, and I was there for Labor Day. And maybe it's the opposite. I don't remember. It was Labor Day weekend when I met her. But I would go there every 6 months or so. So I happened to be there that weekend. I was with some friends, and that night we were at this club there. It was Shepherd's Beach was the name of the hotel, and they have a nightclub there. I think it was called the Wave. And I saw a girl looking at me, and she was like smiling and laughing, and like she was just like really digging me, you know. Your mom says it's because of her shirt I was wearing. Oh, let me show you the shirt. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if I paused it before when I walked in here. So I was wearing this shirt, Lila, and Emmanuel, and you see it has a bunch of flower designs. It's a Hugo Boss shirt. This shirt cost me 20 years ago $100, and I still have it to this day. It's a real strong material. I actually still wear it now. For many years, I couldn't fit into it because I had gotten heavier. But in Mexico, I lost a lot of weight, so I can wear it again. So I've been wearing it. I get a lot of compliments on it. I've worn it like twice. I wore it for Passover dinner. But your mom saw that shirt on me, and she was like, oh, look at that shirt. That's whoever's wearing a shirt like that has got to be bold, you know, to wear a shirt with flowers on it. And it's such a nice shirt, and she liked it. And so she was checking me out, and I caught her, and she started laughing. And I remember seeing her later on as I was walking through my hotel, but we went back years later, and the layout wasn't exactly how I remembered it, so I can't really speak for sure. Anyways, went back to the club, was dancing, and I looked, and I saw the same girl from earlier in the night looking at me, so then we just started dancing together. And then we were talking, and it turns out she had Andrea 2 years earlier and says she hadn't been out in 2 years. And so Erica had talked her into going out that night. And so we were hanging out, but Mom had, her sister Erica and her other friends, and I was with my friends, and we hung out a lot that night. Well, then we said goodbye. I tried to get her to kiss me, but she wouldn't. And then she came back the next day. She called me the next day, or I called her the next morning, and I think it was Sunday, and she was just gotten done for church or something. And she came back out, and we hung out the whole time. And we just hung out and hung out and hung out. And then I went home. And then we just kept calling each other. And then I would make trips to Clearwater because I lived in Sarasota and she was in Clearwater. And I had to go, through St. Pete. And anyways, so I would come visit her all the time, every weekend. And then it just seemed like we were doing good together. So then I asked her dad if she could move in with me. I asked Grandpa if she could move in with me. He said yes. Then I asked him if I could marry her. He said yes. So next thing you know, 11 months later, we were married and had Caleb on the way. And like I said before, I don't regret any of it. Should I have made the decisions I made? It's not what I would advise somebody to do. But I don't regret any of it because now I have Caleb, Preston, you, and Emmanuel, and I'm so happy because of that. But that's how we met. And we moved into my little house. And by that time, I was already working on buying a bigger house because the economy was really good. They were giving out loans like candy. It was so easy. And I found a really good deal on a house being built. I was able to build that house, and then we moved into it, but then things went bad, and this was the 2008 housing market crash, and I had to rebuild from all that mess. But, I wanted to tell you that story. I wanted you to know, I think I might be repeating myself, but I wanted you to know when Mom left here in Mexico and took you guys with her, that I reached out to so many people to try to help me, and nobody would help me. I reached out to Grandma. I begged her to help me talk to you guys. I reached out to Pops. There was times where you were at Pops' house and I would call Pops and he would not let me talk to you. And then he hung up the phone. I'd call him back and he had turned his phone off. I tried my friend Chuck to see if he would help me. He made like one attempt, but then he pretty much ignored me every time I called him back. I talked to Uncle Mel. He can't do much though. I didn't expect a lot from him. I never called Grandpa because Grandpa made it very clear. Sorry, I always have nasal problems at the end of the day because I breathe a lot of dust in. But I never called Grandpa because I remember one time Grandpa and Erica told me that when Erica got divorced from her first husband, a guy named Gabe, that Gabe called him or wanted to talk to him, and he basically shut him down and said, I will never like take sides against my daughter. And not that I would have asked him to take sides against her, but just like that really put a bad taste in my mouth. Like, okay, well, I can never go to you for help then. So I never even called him. Andrea turned against me before. Apparently, she turned against me before we came to Mexico, and I didn't know it yet. I was oblivious. There was a lot going on, Lila, in the background that I was oblivious to. I had been in Texas working. I didn't know that your mom might have been cheating on me. I didn't know that there was conspiring against me. I didn't know that all this was going on. Andrea had been running around with some boy. When she went to Tallahassee to go to college, she was up to no good. I found this out because later on, I found her Instagram. I found her TikTok videos. She was making a bunch of bad videos. I could even show them to you on my phone right now. But she was doing a lot. She was up to a lot of bad stuff, a lot of sin, And she had already. See, the Bible says that in the last days, that people, because of lawlessness, because of sin, people's hearts will grow cold towards Christians. And that's pretty much what happened to me, is being a man of God and taking a stance against sin, that my whole family turned against me, which is, in the Bible, it's prophesied that this would happen. So here's just real quick couple videos I have of Andrea. Let me see, is this it? So there she says she's a damn sociopath. Here's another one of her bragging how she just got done with a party weekend. She's singing about depression, sipping on martinis and bikinis, driving Lamborghinis. Yes, young ladies have a lot of value, that men will pick them up in Lamborghinis and have sex with them. Here's another one.
If you have a problem with me, please feel free to call me. And if you don't have my number, then we don't have a problem.
Here you can see she's behaving like a slut. My way or the highway, which, the devil's anthem is do as you want, do as thou wilt, And here's another one, her with her friend on the beach. So basically, hold on. Oh well, I don't. Anyways, that's enough. You get the point. I got to cut this video off in a second. So basically, Andrea was up to a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of, behind my back. And sin, and like they said, the Bible says, in the last days, because sin will increase, the love of many will grow cold. And she stopped loving me, okay? Because you can't be with Jesus and with sin. You can't be with your dad who stands against sin and with sin. So you got to make a choice, and she made her choice. But anyways, Lila, I love you very much, and I would love to talk to you and be in your life. I have a house. I have, I provided for my family. And I'd love to be with you, baby girl. And Emmanuel, too, I love you very much. So I got to cut this video off, and I'll do another one for you guys tomorrow. Bye.